And welcome back. In this session, we're going to be using multiple tools, materials, and modalities to create a storyline, a timeless story of what our A-teams would like us to know. Grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening, or grand rest, wherever you are, whenever you tune in, beloveds. We're going to go into these runes cards first. Everything is going to be random, but may actually cultivate a storyline at the same time. Going into the runes cards first. Let's go. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Well, timeless, but here we go. Random messages of what our A-teams would like us to know. Random messages, what our A-teams would like us to know. All right, we have one card out so far, and it is the Dagas. This is representation of the dawn. For some of the collective, this is a person, place, situation coming to completion. Something that is coming to a close. Or otherwise, the collective gaining clarity about a person, place, thing, or situation. Actually, we'll put this right here for better viewing. A little bit closer. Here we go. Let's keep going. Hello, beautiful sister Sonia. Thank you so much for being here, bestie. Oh, I know. You're probably so sleepy right now. That's okay. You don't have to comment. I can feel your presence and I know your love. Thank you, beautiful sister, for being here. Pleasant dreams to you, beautiful lady. All right. Back into the runes card. What else would our A-teams like us to know? All right. We have Iwas also out. Saying in so many words that as we draw people, places, things, and situations to a close, this time the collective is showing progress as well as trustworthiness. Oh, I could feel it earlier when you were still on your live. I could tell, I could feel it, and I could just tell that you were tired and perhaps even a little bit frustrated with something that may have happened during your daytime hours. But because I don't like to pry or, ask too many personal questions, I didn't really dig any deeper to see what was going on with you. I figured if you wanted anyone to know, it was on a need to know basis and you would say something. So there's that. That's all I got for you, sweetie. And I love you too. All right, let's keep going. We also have Raidu in terms of what our A-teams would like us to know at this time. This is all about embracing spontaneity. At least that's what the message is for today. Oh no, Heaven. That's not good news. I apologize that you had to go through that. I'm sending high vibes and happy thoughts your way, beautiful sister. Grand rising. And I love you. I love you, Heavenly. Happy Sunday to you. You. I love you. Let's keep going. You won, huh? Ah, I see. Keep your chin up, girlfriend. I love you. We also have Raidu. This is all about our A teams wanting us to embrace more spontaneity in terms of there's many meanings to this card, but spontaneity is what is being spoken of it at this time. So, with the completion and progress, we also have spontaneity coming in right behind it. So as we're drawing these people, places, things, and situations to a close and completion and create space for the new, we're being guided to be a bit more spontaneous. That's great, Heaven. Stay strong. Bro, what the hell? Well, Joey, this is a storytelling channel using multiple tools, materials, and modalities, including these cards. I like to think of them more as flashcards with teachable moments, insights, and golden nuggets. Okay, you said shut it off. So, the distortion that needs to go is being shut off. And there we have it. Let's keep going. We also have Wonjo in terms of what our A teams would like us to know at this time. Oh my goodness. I don't think that will stand up. Give me just a second, guys. This is an 18 plus only channel, but you just never know who's lurking. So, okay. It's not going to be as aesthetically appealing, but I have to put that there to cover her up. All right. I'm sure you would understand. This card does represent harmony and prosperity as a result and reward of that spontaneity. Let's keep going. Thur says, I will work on my pronunciations at another time. Yeah, they got the boot. Not because they aren't loved, but because we don't tolerate disrespect on this channel. People can do how they do anywhere else, but I do not tolerate disrespect of any kind. I do not tolerate bullying or abuse. It will not be accepted. It will not be allowed, but they will be loved from a distance. In their case, in the timeout chair. Now let's keep going. And may you be well, Joey. May you be well. Thura says, I will work on the pronunciations behind the scenes with these guys. Just be patient with me as I'm teaching myself these rune meanings and pronunciations as we go. This card represents regeneration. but also a reaction, a thorn that just appeared in the chat. And instead of reacting defensively, I responded with, see you again when you can be more respectful and kind. Absolutely. Hi, Adriana. Welcome in here. Yes, hello. Happy Sunday. And welcome in. Keep it kind. Keep it kosher. We also have, oh, I need to cover this one too. Good grief. Oh my goodness. We'll just place a feather over her for now until we can put her down. But we have this gorgeous image. And this is Lagos, representing water and intuition. And in this case, a message of renewal during this season. Renewal of some kind coming in for the collective. Let's keep going with the runes. Hello, Melissa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Much gratitude and appreciation, and happy Sunday to you. You. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? We have Fayu. This is all about security, a strong foundation, and abundance of wealth and success in all of our endeavors coming into fruition. We also have Hagalaz, and our A-teams would like us to know that we are being tested. However, we are overcoming obstacles. Almost second nature, Holy Spirit just said. Messenger of Source just said. Overcoming obstacles like it's second nature. Let's keep going. Thank you so much, Heavenly. That's very sweet of you. You also have a very pleasant voice. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? What else would our A-teams like us to know? Indication that it's about time to move on to a different deck. Let's keep going. We have Manaz. Our A-teams would like us to know that with our continued efforts, we are raising the frequency of humanity through cooperation, help, genuine friendships, wholehearted connections, building healthy, safe communities together. This is a card of divine sacred masculine and transmuting ideas into conscious action. At the bottom of the deck and already in our immediate orbit, our A-teams want us to know with Berkana some of that feminine energy, but somewhat a combination of both the sacred masculine and the divine feminine. Healing has taken place and will continue to progress, as not only are we in a season of renewal at this time, but regeneration. So some parts of us that are meant to regenerate, but the renewal aspect, from what I'm getting, is more about what is to follow with spontaneity after these closures and clarities and completions. And also a little bit of common sense I just heard. Perhaps that will come out. We're going to give it one more full pass. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. Okay, here we go. We have, yes, more of that Ehwaz, we have Ehwaz and more of that progress. Trust. But also representing changes. And we have hurrah. And this is all about cycles coming to a close and reaping the rewards. And it's all like part of the flow. Like in terms of our effort and taking conscious action, that has already occurred because it showed up in the immediate orbit. So the harvest is upon us, has been upon us, and there's still more coming in. But it's going to feel new to you. It's going to feel new. Let's keep going. It's like a new spark to an old flame, Holy Spirit just said. A new spark to an old flame. Let's keep going. We're going into the Kippur next. But before we go into the Kippur, we are going to roll the dice for a little bit more of what our A-teams would like us to know. Give me just one moment. I need to wet my whistle. And today we're having cranberry juice. No sugar. Sugar-free cranberry juice. Followed by a big glass of water when I'm done. With a pinch of sea salt. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. All right, let's go. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else would our A-teams like us to know during this timeless message? Okay, we have 4, 5, and 3. 3 is on the horizon. So already within our orbit. Growth, as well as more social interaction. We're being encouraged to continue keeping it up with the creativity. And more of that community essence and like collaborations, being more willing to be a bit more team oriented. And the opportunity for more collaboration is already on the horizon. Now with the 3 and the 4 above the horizon, or excuse me, the 5 and the 4 above the horizon. This is change that is going to lead to even more stability through discipline that has been transformative for the collective. Beautiful. All together, Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What is it that we are meant to hear? Good news. Good news coming in for the collective, especially in terms of finances or any kind of civil or other judiciary. Some of you may be getting news of a academic opportunity. Hello, RJ Kitchen or RI Kitchen and Vlogs. Thank you so very much for tuning in and welcome. Hello. Blue suit, fresh from the cleaners. Please do wear it with honor. Keep it kind. Thank you very much. The 12 breaks down to a 3. So we're revisiting the 3 yet again. A very fortunate number. But also even stronger of an indication of upcoming changes in our circumstances. A stroke of good fortune. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What other messages do our A-teams want us to know in this timeless message? We have a 4 on the horizon and a 6 and a 5 above it. On the horizon and in our immediate orbit, there has been a temporary setback, or otherwise just slow forward movement in some kind of way that may have even came as a surprise, but also indication of some kind of energy testing our resolve. Coming in or otherwise slightly out of our orbit, we have the 6 and the 5. There would be another coming into our orbit who has been dealing with some kind of misfortune, typically a close friend or family member. It could be an investment loss, but it could be another kind of loss that I don't want to go into too much detail, at least the illusion of loss, the perception of it. But with the 5 there, there's some kind of balance that can be struck by the collective helping this other person or place in some kind of way dealing with this misfortune. Then help could also arrive, support, guidance for the collective as well from an external source of positivity. It could even be like a longtime friend reappearing in your life. And for some of you, that longtime friend could have actually been a potential love interest that just didn't quite get a chance to kick off until now. Altogether, we have a 15. A message from our A-teams that even during times of chaos, opportunities arise for us. But we have been a mindful risk taker, becoming more trustworthy and faithful, reliable, proving to be way stronger than expected or anticipated before. This is breaking down to a 5, so we're revisiting the 5 energy. Definitely either someone new and helpful is coming in for the collective, or like, again, a longtime friend that you may not have seen for a while that could also be a potential love interest. All right, one more roll, and then we're going to move on to the Kipper. Here we go, Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What other energy is coming in? What do our A-teams have to say to us at this time? A 5, a 1, and a 3. Outside of our orbit, so on its way in. Trouble in paradise for some. Otherwise, some kind of tension that may lead to a period of solitude, otherwise known as alone time. For some of us, though, this would be necessary alone time. But we're being guided to not think of that isolation as a negative at all. We're being guided to embrace these periods of solitude. And Holy Spirit, Source Messenger, is saying that it has a lot to do with our practices and where our focus needs to be in terms of them. The full trifecta. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. As we are recalibrating with that regenerative and renewing energy coming in, we're being guided to invest a lot more time into practices that best suit our needs, our soul's needs especially. So spiritual practices, but also practices that will help us continue to keep a rein on our emotions, less reactive, basically disengaging from any of that tension and strife, and just focusing our energy where it could be more meaningful and productive. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Altogether, adding up to a 9. Love is in the air. Oh, love is in the air. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, a new relationship or a new crush developing, depending on your personal circumstances. For some of you, this could mean a new vocational endeavor, either based on something that you love to do or that you will quickly grow to love. All right, let's keep going. Into the Kipper. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What other messages would our A-teams like us to know for this timeless message? Timeless meaning whenever you hear this message. Not necessarily on Sunday, November 9th, 2025. But for sure, whenever you hear it. All right, let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What other messages would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Let's go. We have false person out first. For some of the collective, this can very well, and I don't mean this in a dramatic or gossipy way, but there could be circumstances current where you're dealing with a false person in your life, and not necessarily a partner, but that could be relevant as well. Someone that you are not meant to be with for the long term. But it can be a friend, it can be family members, it can be anybody. Any kind of connection that could be trying to pull the wool over your eyes, so to speak. Hello, beautiful Lucy. Hello, beautiful sister. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Beautiful Lucy, I love you. I love you. You. Happy Sunday. We have the community. Interestingly enough, this is a message from our A-teams, witches, elders, and ancestors who are in support of our soul's purpose and journey, but also even from like external forces to some degree. This is A-teams willing to jump through hoops for you. See the hula hoop? Your A-teams are willing to jump through hoops for you in terms of support and guidance on many levels, many generations, and many levels of support and guidance all around. They want you to know that you're never alone. We also have sudden wealth. Number 11, the first master number on the table. Of course, we already know only 1 through 9 are true numbers. So what happens when you see the same number twice, like in this case with the number 11, the 1 is simply amplified. It's still a 1, but it's amplified. So, If you've been here and you've been around for a while, you know the drill. Whenever a master number comes out, we ring the bell. This may be a good time to reduce the volume on your listening devices if you do have a sound sensitivity. Sometimes this bell can be a little bit harsh. I'm going to count up to 3. 1, 2, and 3. Bringing in the good fortune, the renewal, the regeneration, the collaborations, and support that hasn't already arrived in our orbit. So it is, and new beginnings are right here. And so it is. So it shall be. So it shall be. The path is clearing for us as we speak. The path is lined with support and security through multiple modalities. Our path is lined with security and stability. They're all lined up in support of us all along the path, leading us to our higher selves. Take deeper breaths to raise your frequency, increase your light, as we're being guided to no longer conceal that light. No more shallow breathing in order to dim your light so that others don't see it and want to retaliate against it. You are free to shine like a pillar of light for others. Spreading the wealth. That wealth being what comes along with that beautiful light, that God spark within you, that eternal flame. We are the light. The tunnel is an illusion. Keep shining. No more dimming your light. We also have judication. Indication of hemisync. A balance between the right brain and the left brain. The divine feminine and the divine masculine. Putting on your thinking caps. But also never losing sight of your heart and your soul. See, we have the lion and the unicorn representing the mundane and pride, and the spiritual and the intuitions striking a balance. In terms of judication, what this means for us is being well and capable of making our own decisions and doing so each book in this stack representing an experience or a lifetime of experiences where now the collective has become more efficient in terms of decision making. We do have a message of concern. We do have a message of concern. Give me just a moment. I need to wet my whistle. Let's see. With this energy Aw. Yes, you are, Lucy. That's a beautiful analogy, by the way. The feminine being the intuitive, the masculine being the rationale. We do need a bit of a balance of both our intuitions and a rational mind, depending upon the occasion. So at this time, this card is representing the setbacks that we've already been made aware of. Some kind of sad news that recently occurred involving a partnership of any kind, whether it's romance or vocational, some kind of significant, otherwise it wouldn't be a concern if it wasn't significant. Some kind of significant connection that may have been putting us in a position of deep rest, depression, deep rest. Disclaimer alert. Disclaimer alert. Not a doctor, not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger, beloveds. If you have been dealing and having difficulty coping, please reach out to the appropriate professionals, as I am simply the messenger. Please do not pew pew the messenger. What is this relating to? Well, any adjacent cards. So, like I said, it could be a romance, a business, or even a legal dispute. Let's keep going. I don't even want to say that out loud. Being guided to not necessarily take that card literally in terms of what it states at the bottom. This is not a time to be Captain Literal Man or woman or anything in between. It's time to if it has to do with a romance, and this doesn't go for you, any of you who have been happy and content in your relationships, there's indication, again, more confirmation of that trouble in paradise. That have led to feelings of powerlessness. For some of you, this has affected your vocation to where you had to take a temporary break. Or, in other words, felt held back and some kind of inability to act. Hello, Amadian. Hello, dear friend. Welcome, welcome. Here is your blue suit. Okay. Okay. Thank you so very much, and blessed day to you as well. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday to you. You. Yes, let's keep going. Back into the Kipper, Source Holy Spirit. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Although this is a timeless message. Whenever you hear this, it applies. All right, that's a full pass. We'll take a look at the one facing up first, which is the main female. Indication that you are not a non-participant and you are the main character in your reality, so that's great news, I must say. You're not just a fixture in your life or anyone else's life, and someone out there needs to hear that, including me. This is the energy of a main character type of energy that's open, deep, and even emphasizes romantic love, whether it's a he or a she. It does say main female, but energy does not recognize gender whatsoever. I don't care what anybody says. Don't come at me. It'll be a waste of energy, I promise you that. Because this also symbolizes innocence. Hello, beautiful Sister Mary. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. This could also be indication for some of you of a hidden love. Something that you've been keeping close to your heart and hidden in order to protect it. To protect it from the external forces and the attacks and the distortions and the lies and the manipulation. Also, an indication of a little bit of concern over someone who is important to you. Oh, look. Out right afterwards, we have the Lovers. So, for some of you, this is confirmation that it is trouble in paradise. Trouble in paradise. But again, with that type of energy, it can also represent something that you love, not necessarily someone. Love or friendship with someone who has been near and dear to you, whether it's online or in real time, Holy Spirit just said. Somebody's falling in love. This is also an indication of fidelity and devotion. So whether it's vocational or romantic or any otherwise, there is a devotion involved that is deepening. And since it's nowhere near number 8 and the false person card, regardless of the obstacles, there is indication of full support. No matter what it pertains to, it's full support. With peace of mind prioritized. See the doves? Holy Spirit just said, this is what is at the end of the pathway. But the end of the pathway does not mean the end of the line or the end of anything or a finish line. It just means that the current path, see the similar colors here and here, and then the light and then the trees surrounding. This is at the end of this. And all the butterflies along the path are indication of, where'd it go? The community card, where did it go? Yeah. Indication that that journey, that path is supported in multiple ways. And since the false person card was the first card to come out, indicating some distortion or deception in the orbit, it doesn't have anything to do with what's coming in. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with either past tense, situations that you've already been dealing with, or are currently dealing with that are about to change. What's already in the... Oh my gosh. I just said about to change. And in our immediate orbit and environment, we have change, an overhaul, an upgrade, which overall means a higher version of ourselves. But it can be taken in other contexts as well. But also in the immediate orbit is indication of more patience that is needed at this time. So don't listen to the regurgitation coming from people on like repeat about deadlines and finish lines and outcomes, because we only listen to our higher power, and our higher power is saying patience is doing us a whole lot of good. Patience. Keeping those expectations in check. Right behind that in the immediate orbit, we have toil and labor, indication that you absolutely have been doing the necessary work in order to improve the entire trifecta, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Infinitely. There's the 3 for the trifecta and the 8 for infinity. And it adds up to 11, which represents 1 repeated, amplified, the number 1 amplified, new beginnings. Oh my gosh! Right behind that is the courtship card representing new beginnings. Wow. No worries, beautiful Sister Mary. No worries. And it's official. Whatever is coming in for the collective is official. And will leave you awestruck. So not only is it the real deal, it's going to be impactful in a positive way, where you can finally embrace fun and seeing through a whole new lens seeing life through a whole new lens with the awe and wonder of childlike innocence and playfulness. Beautiful. Number 22, y'all know what that means. Let's ring it in. These blessings our A-teams want us to know at this time. 1, 2, 3. Bringing in more positivity, full trifecta for the collective. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it shall be. Yes, number 22. New situations coming in where we are called to maintain authority over our lives and these situations. Some kind of order. Call back your energy. Call back your energy and spiritual authority. Shield up. And keep your goals and what your main focus is right now close to your heart. Keep it quiet. Keep it close to your heart, like she's holding her stuffy right there. The less you reveal at this time, the more control you have over you. Not control in the sense of dominance, but the more authority, especially spiritual authority, that you have over your life path and your soul's purpose. And sometimes we have to be a bit hard on ourselves. It's necessary. The discipline, the self-discipline is absolutely necessary. But we can maintain that order and still be playful and maintain our innocence and have fun and be fun to be around. Whatever is coming in that is new is also making us more fun to be around. More approachable. Source said, make it so, and so it is. Make it so, and so it is. We're going to give this deck one more shuffle, and then we're going to move along to yet another. Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Okay, nothing came out. We're just going to pull from here and here. The two cards that stuck out the most. We have a wealthy man representing our networks expanding in multiple ways. As well as positive energy exchange. An increase in our networking in terms of connections. But not just, this isn't just about material needs, guys. This is about those positive energy exchanges. Some of them being unexpected. but positive. It's illuminated. See the light between the hands? Luminary energetic exchanges that lead to expansion and even more of it. There's that transformation, confirmation of a transformation that's already in the orbit. Light is already being shined on the transformations we've been going through in multiple ways. We're being guided to focus on the natural light, the true light coming in. It's already in the orbit, but it's coming into clarity, crystal clear clarity for the collective. And with that rose indicating the beauty way and love, a loving light being shined throughout this transformative experience that's leading to energetic exchanges and an expansion. All right, let's take a closer look at the coffin card. There's more to be said about this one. Indication of changes in personal space. I just heard internally and externally, there will be changes in terms of our personal space. More privacy and intimacy, especially in terms of intimacy of the romantic type. In terms of connections, guys, keep it clean. Also indication that we're getting better about going into that isolation, that solitude, retreat type of space without getting stuck there and becoming reclusive or like agoraphobic to some degree. An increased sense of closeness as well. An increased sense of closeness. More than likely involving the aforementioned energies that are either just now coming into the orbit or like the long lost connection re-entering your lives. Let's keep going. We're now going to go into the Hungarian Gypsy for a bit more. In terms of what our A-teams would like us to know at this time. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What would our A-teams like us to know? Although this is a timeless reading, whenever you hear this at this time, we have merriment and unexpected joy. Wow. These are some great cards to come out together. And a little matchy-matchy. with the unexpected joy and unexpected income. I did say any kind of illuminated energy exchange, positive energy exchange, including joy in multiple different forms and fashions. There are multiple representations of joy in this image. Including joy that is elevated in some kind of group setting where two or more are present. Unexpected joy incoming. Creating expansion in every way, shape, or form. Beautiful. Let's keep going. Get these cards back out of the way here. Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else would our A-teams like us to know at this time? Something or someone from the past is about to resurface. Leading to a higher commitment. This could be an old vocation that you attempted in the past that you didn't feel quite ready for, and you're going to give it another go. It could also be, again, confirmation of that connection mentioned earlier that is meant to become more long-term, whether it's romance or vocation or even a friendship. This is more indication of either long-term vocation that you absolutely love, that is unshakable love, immovable, cannot be swayed, cannot be moved, or a romance that cannot be moved or swayed by another, no matter what. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is our A-teams wanting us to know at this time? Face up. Oops. Face up, now face down. Oh my goodness. We have the Fortune card. This is either a young woman in her prime, or it could even be a middle-aged woman who just has a very youthful appearance, who's going to bring someone an abundance of happiness. For others of you, it's not necessarily a woman. But it is a cornucopia of good fortune, be it in your vocation or in romance. Both are indicated here with the coins and the roses. Something that the collective is stepping into. With confidence. an abundance of confidence. We also have desire. For some of you, this is you thinking about someone that you're secretly admiring. For others of you, this is that secret admirer thinking of you. Often and abundantly. Often and abundantly thinking of you, a secret admirer. In our immediate orbit, though, we have the enemy. Source, Holy Spirit, what does this mean for the collective? Of course, with any news situation, there's always that one in the crowd that's opposing to it. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the humor, Source, because I'm like, wait a minute. When you elevate to a certain frequency, you don't have enemies. That's just isn't it ain't it. We don't even think about who's out to get us, or we don't question our safety anymore. Some of us are still working on getting to that frequency. Some of us may have already escaped the man in the shadows, so to speak, an antagonist. For some of you, this is a twin ray connection that is still in that triggering stage of the journey. Like, they're taking advantage of any kind of attention that they can get from you in the now to trigger you intentionally. That's what that's what they do. I can't even spit it out. That's what twin rays do. They trigger you. They don't always feel like home, let me tell you. They're meant to trigger you, to get you fired up, but fired up towards that self-discipline and the inner work to work on, a deeper connection with our higher selves. Otherwise, there's always someone in the crowd that opposes any new opportunities coming in for the collective. That's just to be expected. Holy Spirit says, when we rise, they attack. Because we are Spirit's sweetheart. We all are. If you're human, if you're alive, if you're a plant, animal, or a human, and you're alive, you are Spirit's sweetheart. Okay? And sometimes we can be off in dreamland and lose sight of that. And then that dreamland can become an enemy because we have to balance in terms of being the observer internally and externally. As we continue to do that inner work, to work towards our higher selves, sweetheart is our higher selves, okay? The fog, the smoke, and the debris are clearing away. The fire is still present, but that fire is like the fire under our booties, keeping us motivated, keeping us disciplined. We're being guided to also embrace our child self that much more. As the haze is clearing away, we are embracing our child selves. With the sweetheart, this is discovering something new about ourselves as we do that inner work. Something new that is still in its developmental stages, because the child self is being made present by our A teams at this time, being guided to embrace the child self. Or like something new that is still in its infancy, so to speak, hypothetically, or not hypothetically, but figuratively, rather. For some of the collective, this is someone thinking of you as their sweetheart. Like they only have eyes for you. All right, let's make one more full pass. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger, Source. What else would our A teams like us to know at this time? The visit. Well, some kind of correspondence or meeting that is meant to be kept private. Like for some of you, this could be an interview pertaining to your vocation that you are not meant to share with others at this time. Not because it isn't going to continue to develop, but because others could attempt to throw a wrench in it in some kind of way. And I don't mean that to sound dramatic. That's just simply the message, and I am the conduit, the messenger. Not everything is lollipops and rainbows. It simply isn't. But we don't have to focus on the negative. What we can see here is what we are protecting by not revealing too much. For others of you, it's a developing relationship that is meant to be kept more private. Especially from extended family. Okay, I know I may have said only one more full pass, but we're going to make another one and then we're going to move along. And nothing came out. So that takes us back to the immediate orbit. And what do we have? The house. It absolutely can be a residence, a safe haven, is what I'm hearing. For some of you, it could actually be a multi-story building that has a bit of a yellow hue to it. Some of you, the opportunities coming in could mean becoming a caretaker for some condos or something along that line, like being the manager in real time of some condos. Like, regardless of anything else that you do in your life, vocationally, spiritually, or in any otherwise, in terms of practices that you're also expanding on, there's an opportunity for some of you to be a caretaker of some property, or like I said, like managing some condos or some apartments, multifamily a multi-family complex. For others of you, this is more security and stability, as well as indication that you have been putting in the work to build a stronger foundation for yourself. As a result of putting in that stronger foundation, Source is building a bridge between now and what's next, to make the connection between what's coming to a completion and what's coming in that's new through the networking more easier to access. Yes, really. And we're not so prideful and arrogant around here that we care about any of that, but thank you. Thank you very much. May you be well. And happy Sunday to you. You. May you be well, Keith. Oh, it's okay. I'm surprised sometimes, but I've been doing this long enough that I don't let it bother me, you know. Um I don't allow that kind of thing to, you know, get in the way of what I feel is part of my soul's purpose, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. I feel as though what is happening now, in the now, is part of my soul's purpose. And um what sets me apart and makes me authentic is that I don't use these tools, materials, and modalities to create fear-based propaganda or contribute to harmful gossip or to spin dramatic narratives or bully others and blame the cards for it. We're not doing that around here. So thank you so very much for that shift in energy that you just brought into the chat. Sincerely, happy Sunday to you, and may you be well. Thank you very much. In the immediate orbit of the collective, we have the Journey card. This is either something or someone coming towards you, or you are on your way out of a negative, dramatic situation. Even willing to minimize, to downscale to some degree, that whole you can't fit a castle in a carriage mentality. Oh, we're working on that. With the carriage and with that statement, dear friend Keith, Source is saying, be careful not to put the carriage in front of the horse. Some will get it, some won't. And we're being guided to not poke the bear and recognize that we're all on our own journey. Hello, Anna. Hello, beautiful sister. Happy Sunday to you, you. I love you, Anna. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're swinging a hammer. If you're too haphazard, you're not going to hit the nail on the head. But there's also that chance that if you're swinging too hard, you might miss and hurt yourself. What would be a better example of how, as long as you don't try to have too much control over the situation, the tool does all the work? But yeah, that's where we're at with that. But that air of caution of not putting the carriage in front of the horse. So, yeah. I mean, you're dropping some gems in the chat right now. Absolutely. Thank you, Keith. Welcome to Soul Stars Productions, Soul Stars of the Violet Flame. An environment and atmosphere elevating, uplifting, maintaining the frequency as frequency holders in this community. I'm doing pretty all right, Anna. If I said I was doing great, I would be lying, but I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Some of you just got a message recently because it's already in the orbit. That, again, with the seal, is something pertaining to some kind of love interest that we're meant to keep under wraps. That wrap is still on there. A message pertaining to people, places, things, situations that you love, that you're meant to keep quiet and keep under wraps. Yes, because each and every one of us have that Christos energy within. But due to subprogramming and external forces, we've been taught to breathe shallow and dim our light. Oh, don't breathe too much of my air. Don't drink too much of my clean water. Don't eat too much of my healthy organic produce that isn't sprayed with poison. You know, like, being alive is not a privilege, it's a birthright. And there is a spark of that source that you just mentioned within each and every one of us. We are fragments of that. Together, we are the whole of it, the wholeness of it, the holiness of it. Absolutely. The name Jesus came after the Christ. The name Jesus came after the Christ. Some kind of correspondence came in recently. Extremely significant. That has to do with a person, place, situation, or a vocation that you love. There's definitely love involved with the roses. And with mutual respect, I only take orders from that higher power. Yes. Yes. 5D. Absolutely. 5D isn't even the highest. The Most High is the highest. Exactly. Absolutely. That's a great message that you are sharing. Thank you for dropping those gems in the chat, Keith. I truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for turning the energy around. Because it was, to be honest, feeling a little bit like MIDI, mid-grade. And I want to thank you all who have come into the chat, actually, raising the vibration. It doesn't go unnoticed. And gratitude is most definitely the attitude right now. I truly appreciate all of you for bringing in happy thoughts and high vibrations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I'm feeling guided to reach for yet another deck to see what else that our A teams would like us to know at this time. We're going to bring in Oracle of Visions. One of my favorite decks, of course, all the decks I own are my favorites because I have to be really drawn to and impressed by them to even invest. And I love that this deck, as well as the Kipper that I have, are a product of the same author and illustrator, Ciro Machete. All right, here we go. Now we can kind of push things back a little bit and go into Oracle of Visions for more of what our A teams would like us to know at this time. Depending upon your beliefs, which I will not impede or impose on, our A teams, what that means is angels, ancestors, allies, ascended masters, and any other energies and entities that are on their A game in terms of elevation. Ascension is another A word. Energies and entities in support of our ascension. All right, let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else would our A teams like us to know during this timeless message? Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, what would our A teams like us to know at this time? Anytime that the collective hears this. Oh, it's pulling several out at once, so we're just going to go with it. First out, We have this beautiful image. The locket opening up. Yet another indication of that divine light within that we're being guided to open up. Also, indication that there's more of that correspondence that's meant to occur in terms of the new that's coming in for the collective. Beautiful. Collective, you may have had to relive some experiences that occurred in your life in order to like truly and wholeheartedly get through it this time. But in doing so, it has opened you up to where you're feeling as though you can trust enough again to be able to shine your light and take deeper breaths without someone coming along and making you feel like you're breathing their oxygen. Living in the moment more fully. And in doing so, you can take those deeper breaths that increase your light. Also, a message that at the grand scheme of things is that the only thing that we can truly take with us into the next life is our memories. And even our memories are a privilege. But to have a life is our birthright. Also, indication of release of old ways of thinking, feeling, being, no longer obsessing over failures, good times and bad. Instead, focusing on the treasured memories and releasing everything else, surrendering it to Source. And with every breath, whether in still or moving meditation, in every breath, there is expansiveness, a rebirth, a miracle that increases that light. Oh, there it is. More is more in terms of this card. Not only is that light being made known, possibilities infinite, multiple ways, shapes, and forms of shining our light. Multiple ways, shapes, forms, modalities. But our A teams want us to know that we are safe to be that risk taker. Opportunities have not been lost. But we're also being guided to not allow pride to get in the way, or being the governing energy of our choices. Otherwise, that pride could open up Pandora's box and let chaos loose instead of those golden nuggets of possibilities and opportunities stemming from that light within us. The outcome is unclear because there is no real outcome. The outcome is the illusion. The deadline is an illusion. The finish line is an illusion. It's never one and done. And rather, the outcomes of these releases are reflected with fondness or any otherwise. They are now free. By surrendering the outcome, we discover more of our true sovereignty. And there's that shadow. But the work that we have done internally is being brought to light. That inner work is being brought to light. Whatever it is that we focus on, our imagination is going to nourish that. So, this is indication that the more we rise, the more that we rise by doing the inner work, the less we can be caught by surprise. The more we rise, the less we can be caught by surprise, taken by surprise. The suffering that has stemmed from the past is dwindling. Our instincts have been triggered, and our senses are growing stronger. Our clairs are growing stronger. We can see through the ego. We can see right through it. We can see through the duplicity of, oh, is it true, or is it too good to be true? We shall see. Yeah. Reflecting on the past and what's to come. Letting go of, see, she has that look of resentment on her face. That's what we're letting go of, is resentments. Letting go of the past. Realizing that those two will pass, shall pass. Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much. You just made me a little misty-eyed with those last few comments. You have no idea how much you just brightened my day. During a time when I've been doing a lot of reflecting and spinning the block, so to speak, to be reminded that, as this reminds us here, nothing is permanent. This contraption here represents ever changing change, the continuity of change, and the past as well as what is to come. So, thank you. Thank you for coming in on this contraption and filling a void with a more elevating and uplifting experience. Yes. Yes, that energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed and transmuted. I have a deep understanding of that. But this is indication that there's also a season for everything. And some people come into our lives only for a season, others for a reason, and others a lifetime. But that too shall pass. What remains is our consciousness, our soul, our being, without the body, without the mind. You are here for a reason, because you just brightened my day. Thank you. It's like you are the light in the background of this image that was so unexpected. You want to see something interesting? Earlier in this session, earlier in this very same session, I want to show you something. The first card to come out of this deck today for this message. It's unexpected joy. Unexpected joy. Dead serious, that's what this card means. And it just came into fruition. And I have you to thank for that. Unexpected joy and merriment in the presence of two or more people. You just became that in this story. Unexpected joy and merriment in the presence of two or more people. As this card can also represent gatherings, joyful gatherings, or otherwise a gathering with unexpected joy. Thank you so very much for being the source of that. Sincerely. Thank you for being the source of that joy. You know what? Give me just a moment because I don't really like the whole sniffling thing. I'm going to go blow my nose. I will be right back. Please don't go anywhere, guys. Okay. I'm back already. Here we go. Let's keep going, shall we? Plug my ears. I'm pretty sure one of my ears popped just now as I went into my bathroom to blow my nose so I would stop sniffing. Thank you so much. You could hear me blowing my nose from the other side of my house. I went into the bathroom to blow my nose and you heard that? Wow. That's wild. Are you sure you didn't plant a microphone in my bathroom? Did you plant some audio in my house? Or did I just blow my nose really super loud and I didn't realize it? If you didn't know already, I have a hearing impairment that I've had ever since I was born, and it's only progressively worsened over time. So, yeah. But sometimes when I'm blowing my nose, my ears will pop and then I can hear a little bit better, but not for a sustained period of time. So I don't hear my loud, if my voice gets loud, I don't hear it loud. And if the whole blowing the nose thing, yeah. So I'm not hearing it the same way as others who have their hearing still intact. That's funny. I don't know too many people who have ever like complimented somebody on the sound of their nose being blown, but I'll take it, I guess. Oh, goodness. I don't know. Did anyone else hear it? Oh, goodness. I went 2 rooms away, by the way, but I did leave my door open. All right. Let's go back into Oracle of Visions. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else would our A teams like us to know during this timeless message, please? Here we go. What would our A teams like us to know? Okay, that's another full pass. Oh, I love this message. This is so in alignment with the rising energy session premiere that I did this morning, involving how we are weaving a higher vibration back into the tapestry of humanity. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source, just said, our A teams want us to know that we are bringing out the best in each other and weaving that higher frequency back into the tapestry of humanity. And utilizing our throat chakra, our voice, as much as our hands, metaphorically speaking, with our voice, we bring out the best in one another and weave that higher frequency back into the tapestry of humanity. We also have, with this card, the message that I'm getting is further confirmation of seeing through the ego. Like seeing beyond the matrixy scheme of things. And even the mundane BS that every one of us have had encounters with. There's more. There's more to this. A positive message. Of perseverance. The abstract concept of infinity. This is about limitless possibilities. There's enough essence, enough soul, enough consciousness, enough being to embrace the possibilities, even the ones that may seem a bit stripped down, for lack of better words, stripped down to the bone in terms of possibilities. But what it really means is infinite possibilities. Well, I mean, it can be open for interpretation, if that's your interpretation. Here's the thing, the higher that we vibrate, the more we take on that mentality of enemies who? Enemies what? Once you reach that frequency and you hold it for a sustained period of time, we no longer think about potential enemies because they can't touch us anyway. Whoever they are, or whatever they are, who or whatever they are, they can't touch us. It's an illusion. It doesn't exist. They don't exist. Yeah. Rise so high. They can't even touch us. Yes. Vibrate so high they can't even touch us. And the perseverance is in holding that frequency for a sustained period of time. What once seemed improbable, making the impossible possible. We're over here making the impossible possible. The only limitations are the illusions of time and effort. concocted and cultivated by the one only source of it, which would be the ego. By seeing through the ego, we overcome that lack mentality, the illusion of limitations. Just fall away like the pages from that book, like the pages from the typewriter, just falling away. The stories we tell ourselves falling away. Absolutely. By releasing the old, we become stripped down to just the bare essentials. And the masks we wear now are not one for deception at all. It just merely represents the temporary roles, the temporary masks that do not make us who we are. Those roles do not make us who we are. It's that being, that consciousness that we're being stripped down to by releasing the old without any hatred or malice. The doves coming out of the box being released represent letting go of people, places, things, and situations without any hatred in our hearts. And that one representing the new beginnings made possible by releasing the old. At least that's my interpretation. But we are also being released. It's like saying that if you believe in karma and the accumulation of it, that debt has been paid. No longer allowing specific roles, deeds, relationships, careers, or even familiar surroundings, people, places, and things and situations that we've always identified by, it's all gone. Even personal ideas that we've just let go of, like a tree shedding, in order to be more liberated. As, like you just said, are more authentic versions of ourselves, our higher selves. Those doves also represent pure joy and faith being released in terms of the unseen and the unknown. Like the fool taking a leap of faith without the limited mindset. Also coming from that box is our unlimited and yet untested possibilities. Our full potential is being released, and there's no turning back. There's also a departure that occurred. We're on the other side of that gate, and the gate is locked. There's no turning back now. There's no going back. The gate is locked. Yes, the trifecta. The Trinity, not the trifecta. The Trinity. Um, Another interpretation is that there is a defining moment where a decision had to be made, and the decision has been made, and there's no going backwards, no turning back. No matter the weather, no matter the difficulty, we know that taking that next step is necessary. Even risking embarrassment to some degree in pursuit of our soul's purpose, but also not caring what external influences think about it. We can actually close our eyes to all of it, not paying any mind, and just trust in our soul's compass to guide us. That mask is there for protection, not deception. Connect with your heart and go within to continue putting more into that inner strength. There could be indication that some of you have struggled to start something new or to embrace something new. Some of you may have had to start your life all over again, or you're about to, because that message also came in. And I'm getting stuck on this card like this is our closing message here. A powerful time of clear vision. One that is nurturing. Letting go of any worry. Letting go of any doubt. And instead, seeing that light of hope. Our manifestation coming into fruition as a result of letting go of that self-doubt. That low-level spirit of self-doubt is being released as well. An opportunity for growth. For some of you, you may just be getting a glimpse of it, but you know it's there. And that's why your faith, hope, and trust is increasing. There's also still some introspection going on for some of you in terms of what still needs to be released. Some of you may not be seeing the full picture, and it's causing delays until you make the decision to surrender the outcome, surrender the finish line, and just embrace the process. Trust the process and embrace your soul's journey with all your might. Even after being stripped down to the bare essentials, the bare necessities, we still have hope and faith and trust in our higher power, in ourselves. And it came out earlier in other decks that we are surrounded by a support network of guidance and help. And we don't have to go through these transformations alone. We're never alone. That's become a repeated message on this channel. But also, I don't feel like I can emphasize that enough. We're never truly alone. As a matter of fact, we're going to draw this message to a close with a creature teacher ally who is going to be in support and by our side and always on standby throughout all these new beginnings. And there is already so much unfolding in terms of these new beginnings. You'll have to go back to the beginning to get all the nitty-gritty details of what's coming through. All right. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, draw this message to a close for the collective with a creature teacher ally coming in to be on standby and in full support of this journey. Here we go. One, please. One, please. And there we have it. We have the bat coming in with a supportive energy for the collective on our soul's journey. Beautiful. And our closing message from our A-teams for this timeless message. We have an ending leading to a new beginning. Acceptance, addition, and adjustments being made. The darkness before the dawn, Holy Spirit just said. Letting go, letting go. A rebirth. The precipice, the threshold of a rebirth. As masters of being in tune to even the most subtle senses. Trusting in that internal compass, that soul's compass. By night and by day. Moving on. No more lingering in the past. No more refusing to let go. The end of a chapter. A door. A gate that has been beckoning to be closed. Or it already is closed, and now we're being guided to be in full acceptance of it. Be adaptive, especially through our creative endeavors, focusing on that instead of the past. Wow. the darkness before the dawn. And a future so bright. A future so bright, whether it's day or night. That is the message. I want to thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Familia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation from my heart chakra to yours. Brightest of blessings and agape omni love to all.